Listen. อาจารย์ไม่ตัด
Soup.
Hello everyone and welcome to Geek Anime channel. I'm your host Igor and we are continuing to analyze from season 2 episode 8 today. Another interesting one. I always afraid that this episode and the next one are not gonna be very interesting, and From just never disappoints. But before we begin, I want to thank everyone who supports me on Patreon. The names that you see on the screen right now, those are the most amazing people that make this video possible, make this channel possible, and they help me to improve and make more content for you. So let's all thank them and let's dive in. So the first shot we can see here, Kenny, this is his dream when he's gonna hear the riddle, and he's talking to his mom and he's asking where's the family. It's probably nothing, but it made me think about the episode with his father when he thought it's his brothers who are knocking on the door and he wanted to open it up. So since this dream is obviously something that's being forced by the powers here, maybe it's somehow related, probably not, but once again, as I told you many times, I try to voice everything, every idea, no matter how crazy or not legit it sounds right now. Another interesting moment here is that Mrs. Liu is a Christian. Yeah, we know that already, but I never thought about it. It seems once again very deliberate, like this is probably have something to do with this place. Not that it's only attracts Christians or something like this, but we have seen Father Katri, Tabitha, Mrs. Liu, but it seemed a little bit weird because Christians in China, this is a very small minority. There's only 70 million people. Yeah, I know this is a population of couple of countries, but you know, China is 1.4 billion people. This is almost 5% or something like this. So since Mrs. Liu is Christians, I think it's somehow once again related to this mythology of this place, because we've seen already many times some references to Christianity. Okay, here when Kenny hears the phone ringing, okay, let's just rewind a little bit to season 1 episode 9 and compare the phone calls that Tabitha heard in her vision and this phone call that Kenny is hearing right now.
There's something wrong. Little toy. Outside.
I mean, you can pretty much say this is the same phone call. Now, why is that even weird? Because the first time when I heard the phone call that Tabitha hears in episode 9 in season 1, I thought to myself, everybody has a cell phone already. Why do we hear right now a stationary phone from 1970 or 1980 or something like this? But first I dismissed it because, you know, you can put any sound you want on your iPhone or on your Android, basically any sound. So maybe they just put it as a ringtone or whatever. But right now, when we hear the same phone call here in the dream and also in Tabitha's dream, the same one, kind of makes you feel or think that they are connected somehow. It is logical for Kenny to hear that kind of sound. It's completely illogical for Tabitha to hear that kind of sound in 2010 or 2018 or 17 or something like this. This is when Thomas died, probably a couple of years ago only. Nobody uses stationary phone at home already, this just doesn't happen. How it's related? You can fantasize here and build theories from today until tomorrow. A lot of theories can be possible here. Maybe this force that basically right now influencing Kenny and creates this phone call in his dream, they're basically also have some influence in the outside, also outside of Fromville. As we have seen already in trailer for season 3, we're gonna see the boy in white in the town where Tabitha is, so they do have some influence. And also Father Katri, he heard the voices before he even got to the tree. So yeah, they can influence people, so maybe they were the one who actually did this call that made Tabitha and Jim lose focus on their baby, and it fell and died, unfortunately. So let's think about the riddle. They touch, they break, they steal. Okay, no one here is free. Here they come for free unless you stop the melody. So some of the things are pretty understandable. Unless you stop the melody, they're gonna get you. Okay, so are they gonna get you just like they got Martin, or they almost got Boyd, or something else? Like here they come for 3. They need 3 people. Last time we have seen Martin, it was him and 2 buddies. And after that they took Julie, Randall and Marielle. 3 people. So here, no one here is free. No one here is free. Like, who do we think is free? Like, nobody is free. This is kind of obvious. It kind of makes me feel that maybe somebody here is supposed to be like free. It's presumed that he or she is free and it's not, or he is not, or she is not. I don't know, but they touch, they break, they steal. Okay, they steal. This is probably Marielle. She stole the morphium. They break. This is Kenny. He broke Sarah's toy. They touch, like, everybody touches everybody. Like, I can touch my microphone right now. Does it mean that the demon's gonna come for me? I hope not. But maybe this is something different. Like, they touch, they break, they steal. Maybe it's not the victims, but you know, like the whole demon thingy, the cicadas and everything, they are the ones who's supposed to touch and break and steal. I don't know what. We discussed this with Darren on live on the Reels channel, and he said about heart. So they touch your heart, they break your heart, they steal your heart. So far I don't 100% see how do I put it in this formula, everything. Like, you can once again use Darren theory, and this is an amazing one, but I feel that it's not enough for me so far yet. Maybe I will see something in episode 9 and 10 that will make me even more relate to this. Anyway, we're moving forward. Once again, the melody stopped, so please start noticing this. Kenny was awakened by somebody. Mrs. Liu heard him screaming and she woke him up. This is probably what stopped this music box to actually affect Kenny for 100%. Yeah, he got like this burn there, but he was saved. He wasn't the one who will be eventually dragged into this cellar with the rest and tortured. I think this is because he was awoken, just like Eljin, by the way. So when we move forward, this is just something for me. In the previous episode, I told you that this is probably some kind of like children's drone, a very kids drone, like something pretty cheap that's probably not gonna be able to do anything. And we can see that this is the DJI. So I have one of those, not exactly the same, but it's probably or Mavic Air 3, or it's a mini. If it's a mini, then probably it's explainable why it cannot lift up the antenna higher than that, but it's a very professional drone. And of course he's like, I don't know why, by the way, those red thingies here, to protect from what, have no idea, because usually their like propellers are pretty much revealed. But once again, this is not something that's interesting for you. I was just laughing here at this moment because, as you can see, the remote here doesn't have a screen, so you need to attach your phone to the remote in order to actually fly the drone. So just for me, I'm just picking up things. Once again, I don't think it's somehow related to our mysteries or our riddles or from, but it's just something for me to notice, and I want to share with you those things. So yeah, once again he gives us this like the usual suspect list. Like Randall tells us that probably someone here is on the inside, and it's logical, kind of logical. I'll give him credit to assume if this is someone, there is probably someone who gives you the rules, like Father Katri did or Donna did. This is the first conversation. Donna had the conversation with Tabitha, then Father Katri showed them the place, and then Boyd. But I don't know, Father Katri, maybe if he know how exactly like to die and still be alive, if he wasn't even human in the first place, but just some kind of a spirit or some kind of deity entity that basically helped everyone to be in this place. Yeah, but Boyd, obviously not. Donna also, maybe. And yeah, another chaos theory and another time where I feel like the creators are basically talking to us through Jade. This is the exact moment on my first watch, first time I have seen this TV show. I was watching it like, okay, it's pretty kind of okay, yeah, something interesting. And this is the moment when I kind of felt that Jade is talking to me and he's telling me like everything is connected. We just need more information, you just need to piece the puzzle together. And then I thought to myself, maybe I should check it out. Maybe I should rewatch it and start finding some clues. And then I got hooked up on this TV show. when I understood how there is so many clues, so much information here that you can basically build up almost any possible theory to explain this, this is when I got hooked up on this show. So yeah, to infinity and beyond. Once again, look at the symbol on the backpack that Victor is bringing to Ethan. By the way, cuteness overload in this episode. Their friendship is one of the cutest things I have ever seen. But we have seen already the symbol of the root trees, of the tree roots that are like combining next to each other, like almost getting inside one another. And here we can also see something that resembles infinity, and we have seen the infinity symbol, and this some kind of like a 3D illusion almost, when you don't know where is the beginning and where is the end for this. So once again, it felt like some kind of an Easter egg to everyone who's following this theory and this analysis. They're like, you're on the right path. This is something here with the time swivel and I don't know, like illusion happens here. You need to focus on this topic. Maybe I'm wrong, but I hope I'm not. And here we can see that Victor is not getting inside a house. And I many times saw this theory that Victor's basically, he's like a vampire. He never gets inside a house. So we've seen him in Jade's house. We've seen him already in the trailer for season 3 standing inside of the house. So rest assured, Victor is not a vampire. We can already like forget about this one. So yeah, he brings him his coat, the coat we're gonna see once again in season 3 even more because it's getting colder. Once again, they're very cute together. Now when Ethan gives him a drawing, Victor says, I don't want this, because pictures are for things that are gone. So once again, we have seen many things that came true. What do you mean the things that are gone? You drew here like a gun, you drew there a lake, you drew Boyd being stuck in the well there. So there's a lot of things that we seen not being gone yet. So this is once again something I cannot understand 100%. Maybe it's just like a psychological block, a psychological reaction for that you are drawing things that probably gonna disappear, like his mother, like his sister. He doesn't want to remember it because it's obviously very traumatic for him. So he doesn't want to have a drawing of Ethan because he is afraid he's gonna lose him. And as I told you already a couple of times, cuteness overload, like their friendship is turning to be one of my best themes in this show. And yeah, once again we can see here that another miraculous healing here. Ellie's already like standing up, he's feeling great, he's doing push-ups. He's saying he's not gonna do push-ups, but we can see he can do those push-ups and he feels great. And here we can start thinking why some people have this healing factor and why some not. And the most logical explanation for me is that basically some people accept this place, some people don't. Like Ethan, he was accepting the rules of the game from episode 1. This is a game, this is a quest, this is like criminal, I enjoy it, yeah, we'll find an adventure, this is so much fun, we never sat together like this around the table at home, and here we are like actually one big family. He was accepting it from day 1. Ellis is getting ready to become a father. He is getting married here. He didn't even want to wait until like they're gonna escape from this place, because this is the place where they can be happy. So he is also accepting this place. But people like Jim always like force everything and they don't want to accept this place. They want to build the radio tower. Now he wants to do some stupid shit. But because he doesn't accept it, I think this is why he's healing way slower than the rest. So yeah, once again, I did this mistake a couple of times. I kind of thought that this talisman here on Alice's neck, this is an arrow, and I kind of connected it to Beelzebub and their mythology. But I think it's pretty safe to say that this is a flower, and it's kind of connected here to me to this drawing. Like flowers also pretty much important in this place. And once again, look at his sweater, it has some birdies, because every clothing here has to have some birdies, butterflies, fishes or whatever. Like this is a small zoo for clothes. And yeah, another interesting thing, as I told you, Eljin almost drowned in his sleep, and we have seen it in the last episode. I kinda didn't even go through it because I kinda I'm sorry, I forgot to add those images, but you know, like pretty obvious this is a reference to Fatima, so it's either Fatima, her spirit somehow, that came to Eljin in this very weird form, or it's just something that wants us to think that this is Fatima, when it's not. So when we move forward, look again, another drawing of the forest. Here we can see that almost all of the drawings we have seen so far in the colony house, this is a forest, the red forest, the blue forest, the green forest, the yellow forest, whatever forest. But it's not all, because when we zoom into this image we can see a lighthouse. What are the odds that in the colony house every kinda old drawing is either a lighthouse or a forest? The two pretty much most important things in this place. So either it's just, once again, the creators are showing us like they put in some things that are important. This is an Easter egg, you have a lighthouse, this is a lighthouse, or the colony house, which is in my opinion way more logical, is really related to the lore of this place and it's somehow connected to everything that happens here. So when he said here that somebody shook him awake, just like Kenny, he wasn't trapped in the cellar in the end because somebody shook him awake and music didn't stop. Now, if we remember the moment with Marielle, nobody woke her up. Smiley kinda attacked her. Maybe this attack that basically happened there and the music almost stopped here and kinda presumable as you can assume there, it kinda stopped. This is what basically marked Marielle as a victim here. Somebody who you can take it away, like this is the one. So once again, just another cute moment when Victor doesn't believe Ethan that there is internet. Come on, you're making fun of me, you're lying to me. I just really enjoyed it. I hope you did too, because I know you come here not for my opinion on the moments that I love the most, but every once in a while I have to share it with you, because this is just was like, it was so endearing. Like the first time we have seen Victor and we're seeing him right now, like having this kind of nice conversation with Julie, being friends with Ethan. I think he went through a very interesting path there, and I think he is in a way better place than he was before. Even though like bad things are happening, but the way he evolves eventually is gonna be good for him as a character. Now this one, the creepy toy that Ethan finds, once again, it's not something that you can probably find in your local store. I tried to look for it. It looks like a freaking monster with a smile, like those greens that the monster have. I don't know if it's related, but it also kinda reminded me of the talisman, of, you know, like this symbol on top of your head. And we have like on the talisman, we have like a human being, and there's like some kind of square-ish, like rhombish kind of thingy here. So yeah, once again, maybe just a coincidence, but I always tell you if I see something. Here we can see when Tabitha is running after Victor, we can look at the mailbox and a lot of things on it are scratched. Looks like with the marker or something like this. Name? Some name? Why would you do it again? I don't know, but if it was done, maybe it was done in purpose to hide somebody's name. Like you can hear, like see there, like Tabitha was living here or something like this. Probably not, but you know, like I'm just spitballing here. But why would you like really mark everything like with a marker? Don't know. Anyway, when we move forward, Dumb and Dumber here, we're like trying to basically give respect to every Jim Carrey movie in this episode, and they want to like start asking Sarah some questions. And when Jim, the dumb one, tried to, at least to try to figure out it like respectfully by asking some questions, the dumber here, he was like, is your brother alive? Are you freaking stupid? Obviously didn't work, and Sarah became even more paranoid than she is. So she's telling us her story that they were going to Boston. They were going to Boston from Pennsylvania. My first impression was she's lying, because look at her eyes. She's like looking down, but it can also be a reaction of her remembering her abusive relationship and Nathan saved her from there, so maybe that, because like she was living in New Hope. Come on, New Hope. We talked about it many times. Everybody comes here with a hope. They have this new hope for a new life, and she was even living in New Hope before she arrived here. Kind of makes you feel a little bit suspicious about Sarah here. But you can see like Nathan came to bring me back home. She is not actually a village girl like she presents herself. She's from Boston. She was born in Boston, she was probably raised there if Nathan took her home. Like the whole vibe from Sarah up till this moment is basically like she was living in the village. She knows exactly what to do with the animals. And her brother also too, but like both of them are from Boston. And I know Boston is pretty big, but still, they don't strike me as farmers there. So we can see the drive here, it's 5 hours, 9 minutes, 5 hours, 8 minutes, something like that, basically 5 hours. So it's pretty doable, pretty logical, maybe she's not lying. You have Springfield here in the way where they eat cats and dogs, at least I heard so. Yeah, and once again, another Jim Carrey movie. Jim is here, liar, liar. Well, he lies to Donna when he says that he didn't tell Randall about the voice. And I know some of you may start writing comments right now telling me, Igor, Jim Carrey has nothing to do with this show. I know, but I couldn't do anything with myself. When those two entered the church, my first impression was, what Dumb and Dumber are doing here? And here I was like, oh, liar, liar. And only then I was like, oh my god, are they trying to find every Jim Carrey movie here? Who's gonna wear a mask in the next scene? So yeah, he lies because he's kinda afraid of Donna. Anyway, which is good, probably. Anyway, we can see here that some of the drawings disappeared. Here we had like way more drawings on the wall, and some of them stayed, but some are disappearing. It's kind of starting to bug me already. Every time we see Victor's room, something is different. Some drawings are disappearing, new drawings are getting up. And here in this moment, when Tabitha says that she remembered those, my first reaction was, no, you're not. What do you mean? The actress is 43. By the way, 43? She looks stunning for her age, for any age, but the actor who plays Victor is 53. There was no difference between Eloise and Victor of 10 years, obviously not, a couple of years maximum, 2 or 3. And also, like, when there are some toys, they usually pretty much have an expiration date. Only if it's like super classic, super popular, then it can stay for decades because your parents want you to have the same toys they had. So she, once again, remembering something she doesn't really supposed to remember, okay? Just like she recognized Victor from a moment she saw him being a kid, and then she looks at a toy and she's like, oh, I remember those. What are they trying to tell us? They have to be related somehow, not necessarily by blood, they are family. I'm not 100% sure that Tabitha is Eloise, because maybe Victor would probably feel something. I know, like, if you're gonna see my picture when I was like 5 or 6 years old, you probably wouldn't connect it to me right now, but you still would be able to sense that those two people are kind of similar. So Victor's saying here people shouldn't go looking for answers. He's probably talking about his mother because they don't come back. His mother was looking for answers, and this is why she didn't come back. This is why he didn't want anyone else to go for that. So also another interesting thing here is that he's saying I would never have to remember so that no one else would die. Yeah, the logic here is not working for me, Victor. You have to explain yourself. How does your remembering something kill somebody else? It already happened somehow? Or maybe you're talking about the colony house because you remember that there's gonna be a massacre happened? Yeah, maybe once again you can explain it psychologically. Basically, Victor once again is being sort of a child in an adult's body, and he is saying like, every time I remember something, somebody dies, so I really don't want to remember anything else. Like, you know, like a cat that thinks you don't see him when he doesn't see you. So yeah, this is a shit moment when like all of the cicadas have probably somehow appeared in Smiley's body, and when you look at it, one of your comments suggested that his body looks kinda wooden. It's like almost made of wood, and it does looks a lot here and here. So I know I say to you that his head looks like kind of fucked up piranha. Yes, it does, but you can also see some wooden notes here. And if you read about cicadas, they primarily feed on sap from trees and plants. If it's related somehow, I don't know, but it does feel a little bit like the natural process we see, like there were some worms and then they became cicadas. pretty magical cicadas that can just appear and disappear willy-nilly, but still, maybe it's related. Anyway, moving forward, and yeah, are they in there? The drawings, are they in there? They are, but why? This is not Victor's mom's car, this is Christopher's car. So either Christopher was somehow related to Victor and they were pretty close, or it's like, this is the evil place that I don't want to touch, never again. So, because Christopher probably killed everyone. So this is where I'm gonna put Eloise's drawers. I don't know. Once again, you decide, and top notch, give this man an Oscar, give him something. Like, I really felt his pain here. He reacted the way Victor would react here. Like, this is not a reaction of somebody who's 53, this is not a reaction of someone who's 13, this is a reaction of somebody who is age of 10, 12, 13, and he is stuck in the body of a 53-year-old man. So much pain, and like Tabitha being there for him like his mother, this was a very emotional moment for me, and I'm pretty sure for some of you too. Now let's look at the images. We can see here, this is probably Christopher killing everybody with a gun. Probably this is a massacre. You don't usually see monsters using guns, so yeah, probably Christopher. He is the one that Victor's mom wanted to hide him from, so probably this is him. We can see here like a bus, and everybody's pretty sad or pretty scared, and outside we have smiling people. Those are probably monsters, because monsters are usually the ones who smile here. And we can see here like a diner, and once again a lot of people are pretty sad, and the monsters are outside. They have like big clothes there. We move forward, we can see the Civil War soldier. He is obviously an African American, and the Civil War soldier that Jade have seen in episode 6 season 1 was also an African American. So how does it work? Because if Jade repeats Christopher's path, and they're both seeing the symbol, they're both seeing the visions, it means that Eloise would be probably very close to Christopher for him to tell her about the vision. In details, by the way. Or her mom experienced the same visions, or even Eloise herself. But then, how does it work if Jade and Christopher are connected? Why is Eloise seeing the same Civil War soldiers? Maybe it's a different one, but once again, when you know you have one Civil War soldier you have seen so far, he was African American, we've seen an image, you can argue obviously that this is a different one. Yeah, but you know, like, if you're thinking about the rules of the show and how you want to narrate a story, this is probably the same one. So look at this one. Like, once again, in the live stream on Reels channel, we talked about wormholes and people being able to transfer from one place to another. Just look at this door. It feels like door from nowhere to somewhere, right? Because yeah, you can argue that this is an inside of a house, this is like maybe a window here, and outside it's dark, it's night, but like nothing else, no interior here in this house, just the door. And some angry dude in the green shirt is trying to, I don't know, shoot. Oh, it looks like a driver, he's holding a wheel, he has the head, and there is a girl who looks like some nun or something like this. No clue. Once again, we can see here Tinkle Tinkle Little Star, some kind of a house here, and a bottle tree. Now what's interesting for me about a bottle tree here, like look at it, right next to it there is a normal tree, a brown and green tree, and here we have like an empty one. What does it symbolize? That you can basically go anywhere from this place? Maybe, possible, but once again I noticed those kind of things. So yeah, another drawings, we can see some family here, a lot of cars, something blue next to them, I don't know what that is. Family, there's a lot of family here. I'm almost expecting Dominic Toretto already here to arrive, but let's move on forward. And we can see that Victor's mom, she's wearing the bracelet. We talked about it. This is probably the same bracelet that Jim has on his hand. We still don't know how it ended with Victor's mom because it was a past and Tabitha was the one to make this bracelet. Don't know, but hopefully we're gonna get it maybe in season 3. And yeah, she's telling Victor, you just draw your pictures. Right now we're gonna go through the whole like memory lane of Victor. The first time he remembered this, he remembered his mom giving him the charcoals and telling him, you just draw your pictures, and then she ran away. By the way, it's day, it's not even night. So why would she leave him there? Probably this is before sunset and she tried to get to the lighthouse before it's night, but also she didn't want to leave her kid for the whole day in the cellar. Probably. Anyway, we're moving forward and then we remember that there is Eloise. This is Victor's sister and she didn't want mommy to leave, like any kid wouldn't here, and she gave the charcoals to her. You just draw your pictures. She was the one to draw those pictures, not Victor. So we're gonna analyze those pictures even in more detail in next episode. As far as I remember, I think Tabitha is gonna be checking them out. And we can see her that she is leaving once again to the daylight. Now, let's pause here and move forward to the conversation between Victor and Tabitha, when he says to her that Eloise said, "That's where my mother went that night. The night the bad things happened." This is when they analyze the drawing of the lighthouse. Something is not working here for me. Like, we have seen Victor's mom telling them like, "You draw your pictures, I'm going," and then Eloise is like, "No mommy, wait, I'm coming after you," and Victor standing there like, "What the fuck should I do right now? I'm all alone." When was this moment when Eloise told him that their mother went to the lighthouse? This is something maybe that probably happened way before she left, and Eloise drew the lighthouse and she told them that this is where their mother is gonna live. Or once again it's Victor's memory and we should always take it with a grain of salt. We just seen how he remembers the same event in couple of different scenarios. He didn't even remember his sister. So I'm not saying we don't have the full picture, but I assume we don't have a full picture. I don't think that this is exactly what happened in that night. He remembers something but not everything. And of course I want to finish this video as usual with your comments, the ones that I chose for this one. Now we have one from Jason Caldwell. This is kind of standard already, almost every video I choose your comments. Regarding clocks, in episode 2 the kleptomaniac girl is looking to take Jade's watch and Alice stops her. She says something like, "It won't matter soon anyway." No, she's saying it doesn't really matter, it's not gonna help him anyway. As though the watch would soon stop working. That brings to mind the town curfew. How does Boy determine when to ring his bell if all the clocks are broken? Maybe he just eyeballs the quality of the light outside or measures the sun against his finger. 2 or 3 fingers mean it's time to ring the curfew bell. Probably he's starting to see in sunset. You can like look outside and see there's a sun and it's starting to go down. This is a sign for you to pick up your bell and go ahead and ring for everybody. Now another comment from MinXOXO on the topic of Tabitha and Jade and how easily she recognized Victor in the photo. I always chalked it up to being mother's nature, just like Tia Chen picked up first by just looking at the photo versus Jade and her son. Tabitha was also able to pick it up easier. I do like the theory they're related though, and I don't think it's that far-fetched. Kills me how people shoot down the theory, though lol, as if anything in this town makes sense. Let's go wild with the conspiracies. I agree completely. Once again, as I told you, this kind of clue, if it was the only clue, I would probably not even talk about it. But when we have another moments that kind of suggest that maybe Victor being young and Tabitha being young were kind of together at this point, you have to already mention everything. So yeah, probably, most likely, Tabitha is not Eloise, or not even at all related to Victor, but once again we keep everything in mind. Another comment, you noticed how Smiley insides look like purified wood and his nails look like they were turned into wood. I think this monster have some weird connections with trees, that's why the cicadas was feeding on them. So yeah, I didn't notice, but you noticed and I put it in the next video, so thank you so much. And the Lulu Pro Max instant like, I just have to be 100% clear here. This is not my sentence. There's this amazing creator on TikTok. He's very funny. He's always saying about, oh, the Lulu Pro Max or Jesus Christ on the motorbike. So this is kind of 2 sentences that I really enjoyed and I picked them up and I use them in my daily life. So thank you so much for watching this video. So you can support it anyhow you want. You can do it on Patreon, here on YouTube, you can become a member, you can do any donation that you want, of course, if you have the possibility and option to do so. But if not, you can always just like, subscribe, write some interesting comment, or just watch this video until the end. It's already very helpful. I hope I'm gonna see you in the next one. Bye!